Good afternoon, Rotarians, guests, and friends. Greetings to those of you also who are joining us via Zoom. We are very excited about our program today, and we are very happy to have you be here with us as we will hear from our speaker, the Mayor of Cincinnati, Mayor Aftab Pureval. We will begin with the national anthem, which will be played by school psychologist Lori Burns from the Winton Woods School District, and the singing will be led by Janet Metzeler. The national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you very much. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Janet. Thanks to all of you. Next, we will have our invocation and four-way test by Jane Burkett.
Welcome, Rotarians, city officials, guests, and prospective members. Please pray with me. Dear Lord, today we celebrate the city of Cincinnati, its mayor, and all elected officials serving our great city. We ask for your guidance that all of our wonderful representatives learn and lead by example. We pray that each of you listen, be objective, maintain principles and integrity, and make conscious and considerate decisions. Let us all be thankful that our city continues to thrive with our strong police force, our strong sheriff's department, educational excellence, neighborhood continuity, medical facilities, parks and recreation, our zoo, our food attractions, and our Reds, Bengals, and FC Cincinnati. Help us to be a city not only of excellence, but of destination, now and in the future. Amen. And now for the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and will it be beneficial to all concerned? I always am looking at them to forget what I'm saying.
Thank you very much, Shane. You may be seated. Next, we will have our Sergeant at Arms today, Rob Hageman, who will introduce our great number of guests that we have. Following Rob would be Jack Scott, representing Terracon, who is our meeting sponsor of the day. Rob?
Good afternoon, everybody. We have a wonderful list of guests, so if when you hear your name, if you would, please stand and be recognized. We have Christy Samad from the 3CDC, who is a guest of Galen Gordon. Next, we have Sarah Portman, also from 3CDC, also a guest of Galen Gordon. Then we have Keith Ruhlman, who is with Northwestern Mutual, and he is here with Meredith McLean. And then Don Barnes, who is a guest of Bob McElroy. And Nancy Hand, who is a guest of Steve King. Then we have Alan Bernard, who is a guest of Uda Papke. Stephanie Catchman, the wife of Don Catchman. Donald Dickerson, the husband of Barbara Dickerson. Rick Peskovitz, the husband of Kelly Mahon. Okay. And Liam King, the son of Steve King. He was here with his friend Palash Kapoor, who is Steve King's guest as well. And our fantastic piano player, Lori Burns, who is a guest of Melinda Kelly. And Josh Vogel with Terracon, who is a guest of Jack Scott. And now on to our visiting Rotarians. We have one from Fishers, Indiana Rotary Group, Frank Brugner. And in the essence of time, I am going to do my best to name all of these visiting Dayton Rotarians. If you would all stand to be recognized just at one time, please. We have Dean Alexander, Kelly Lehman, Nicole Stirk, Pam Plogman, Paul Gruner, Rick Wegman, Sean and Jonas Yu, Steve Noss, and that is all from the visiting Dayton Rotarians. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon. I'm Jack Scott. I've been a member since 1990. When I first came in as a member, I was an employee of H.C. Nutting Company, and many of you recall that name. But in 2007, we were acquired by a firm called Terracon. And they've been great to us, with us. They've given us an international platform when we only had a regional platform to begin. Terracon has 175 offices nationwide, about 5,500 professionals. We do about 78,000 projects per year, so we touch a lot of projects. The services we provide are geotechnical engineering, construction materials, environmental services, facilities engineering. Some of the other services, more unique services that we provide instrumentation of bridges and structures for vibration monitoring and a variety of other things. We have an underwater diving group, which is really acclaimed. We have GIS services, and we have some of our own specialized programs that we offer called Stage 1 and Targeted. I'll not get into those now. Those services are provided throughout the United States to a variety of clients, both government entities and private companies. We have a couple that are kind of unique now, which I thought I'd just share. I'm not going to share what we're doing, but we have one in Antarctica right now where we're outnumbered by penguins, and but they're not bad. We also are working on one on Ascension Island, which is between Africa and Brazil, out in the middle of nowhere. It's surrounded by a ton of sharks, so that's not quite such a good place. We've been members in this club. We as a company have since 1963. Chuck Nutting was a member. He was a polio survivor. We are now corporate members of this club, and as was mentioned before, Josh Vogel is not only my guest, but he has applied for membership in the club and hopefully will carry on long beyond me. So, and Mayor, I did check, having gone back to 1921, you were the City of Cincinnati was our very first client, and we worked on thousands of projects for you. Our accountant is checking now to see if all those bills have been paid, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Terracon, and thank you, Jack, for being our meeting sponsor today. We are very excited about all of our guests. We have a number of young people from the youth area, the youth department, and we have a lot coming up in the future regarding our youth and peace initiative. Will all of our youth please stand today who've made it here to this meeting? So please stand, all of our youth members who've joined us today. Thank you so very much for being here. You're not just the future, you are the present, and we really appreciate you. And again, too, we really are very appreciative of our Dayton sisters and brothers being here with us today at our meeting. We would like for all of our sisters and brothers from Dayton to please stand. All of them. Yes. This is great. Thank you so much for being here. And President Sean Yu and I have been working together this year. We know with bowling, and hate to mention this, Sean, but Cincinnati did bring home the trophy this year. We compete against Dayton, but it was a very fun affair, and we plan to have more collaboration in the future. Our meeting today will be modified because we have the mayor, and his schedule is very tight, and we're very appreciative of him making the time in his schedule to be here with us today. So we will have the announcements, split the pot, and some of the other initiatives that we have going on, we will mention after Mayor Pureval's presentation. So next, we will have Al Conscious to introduce our program for today.
Thank you, President Melinda. A short public service announcement. If you should get anything in the email with pork, ham, preservatives, do not open that. It's spam. Also, I have 2 tickets to the Reds game for this afternoon, which is underway now, but it'll run till about 3:30. If anybody would like the tickets, I cannot go. Please see me, and I'll be happy to relinquish them. The mayor's sitting there going, the introduction's not supposed to take longer than my talk here, so we'll move this along. Mayor Aftab Pureval is the 70th mayor of the City of Cincinnati. He was elected November 2nd, and as Politico succinctly put it, do you remember that headline? It said, the brown dude with the funny name is now mayor. He's also a very funny guy. I heard him do like a 5-minute stand-up at a St. Patty's Day dinner, and he was very good. He formerly served as the first Democrat to be elected Hamilton County Clerk of Courts in over 100 years. Mayor was born and raised in Southwest Ohio, attended the Ohio State University and the University of Cincinnati College of Law. He served as Special Assistant U.S. Attorney and also worked as an attorney at P&G. Mayor lives in Clifton with his wife Whitney and their sons Bodhi and Rami. Please welcome Mayor Pureval.
Thank you. Tough act to follow. The spam joke killed. Thank you all so much for having me. It's really an honor to be here, to be back, frankly. I have been honored to be a guest of this specific Rotary Club and to judge the speaking competition you all host, and that really is one of the highlights of my year. I'm so grateful to see so many Dayton folks here. I'll just give you a brief background because it's apropos of our Dayton visitors. I'm the son of a refugee. My mom is from Tibet, and she was forced to flee her home when the communists took over. So my grandparents and my mom picked up, made their way through the Himalayas, through Nepal, and into India, where she grew up as a refugee. Against all odds, she got an education. She made it to college, where she met my father, who's from Punjab, India, and the young couple got married, and they decided to come to the New World. They decided to come to our great country. So my dad, who was a little bit crazy, looked at a map of the United States, and from sea to shining sea, from New York to California, this man literally could have gone anywhere. And he chose Beaver Creek, Ohio, near Dayton. So welcome, Dayton. Thank you all so much. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me today. We've had plenty of great moments in our city just this year. You may remember that the Bengals have only lost once in my administration. You're welcome. But time and time again, the highlight of my job as your mayor has been meetings like this. Working on your behalf is the core of the mayor's responsibility, and coming together with you to discuss where we are, where we're headed, and how we can best empower you to be part of our growth is critical to my job and to council's job in being successful. I'm thrilled to talk to you about what we've accomplished this year, but afterwards I hope to engage with you on how all of this fits for organizations like the Rotary Club, who have long been dedicated both at the organization and individual levels to supporting our most vulnerable, to ensuring clean and safe public spaces here in Cincinnati and, yes, across the world. A half year ago now, we had a historic election in Cincinnati. Historic because of the makeup of City Council, historic because of the number of first-time candidates and elected officials who were successful, but most importantly, historic because we represent a turning of the page, a new day in our city. Our overwhelming mandate was to chart a new future for our city now, not tomorrow or next year, but right now. And in coordination with this council and our administration, we have stepped up and taken immediate and bold action. During a record wave of COVID, when effective and compassionate leadership was necessary, we transitioned in a majority new council, an interim city manager, a new interim police chief, and a new health commissioner. And right out of the gate, from our first days addressing the pandemic all the way through to our budget process, we have implemented a new culture in City Hall of getting things done. Without drama, without headlines, this council and our administration have worked together to make amazing progress on behalf of all of you, our beloved Cincinnatians. We constructed a city government that reflected the priorities of my administration and this council. For the first time ever, we have a committee focused on housing. For the first time ever, we have a committee focused on protecting our environment and climate, along with our other top priorities of public safety and our local economy. We have created an infrastructure that directly targets the needs of our residents. And that matters because there's no doubt we are living through a paradigm shift. In real time, we are witnessing the pandemic's lasting impact on the way that we work, live, and play. Companies are adjusting in real time to the shifting dynamics of remote work, and cities like ours are facing an existential threat due to the projected losses in earnings tax revenue. And because of that, it has been and will continue to be essential that we are nimble and innovative during this uncertain time to ensure stability and growth into the future, to prioritize growing our city, but doing so deliberately and equitably, so that the Cincinnati of the future is one where anyone has the opportunity to create a meaningful life, no matter what their zip code is, what they look like, or how much money they have. Cities like ours have tough decisions ahead of us, and it's as important as ever to make strategic, long-term decisions and build a healthy future for Cincinnati. And that's exactly what we've done. One of our first actions geared toward equitable economic growth in City Hall was working with the county and 3CDC to get the Convention Center District project off the ground. This project, in the short term, is the single most important development project for our region. It's not just about the Convention Center Hotel, the surrounding district. It will be a once-in-a-generation catalyst to not only empower our city to attract diverse businesses, visitors, and residents from across the world, but also to grow our Black-owned and women-owned businesses right here in Cincinnati. That's why our administration and council work so hard to include ambitious racial equity language and goals in the legislation. I'm bringing this up as one example because I believe the focus of that project is emblematic of just how interconnected our many challenges and opportunities are, and why our comprehensive approach to moving Cincinnati forward is so crucial to building proud, vibrant, and safe neighborhoods where diverse families can live and grow with their community. In our early months in office, we took action to support the future protection of our workers, creating a new ongoing stream of revenue for our pension. We worked to increase affordable housing options by creating the first ever annual stream of funding for our trust fund, on top of a historic down payment into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund that brought our total commitment to $58 million, with up to $5 million more coming during the end of the budgeting process. Councilmember Harris spearheaded legislation to streamline the low-income housing tax credit process to make more affordable units on the market more quickly. In addition to that, we began a comprehensive review of our zoning code and tax incentives, leading up to our housing summit just the other week, where residents and community leaders discussed how we can best incentivize walkable, affordable neighborhoods where residents have easy access to amenities, whether or not they own a car. This work will not happen overnight, but it will play a key role in changing the face of our city for a generation. But that growth of our neighborhoods, that work to desegregate communities and deconcentrate poverty, it doesn't work unless we are all safe. Tragically, cities across our community and our country, including ours, have seen an increase in gun violence. And from day one, we have taken action. We've supported our public safety workers with the resources, the staff, and the equipment they need to protect us. Our police department, led by Interim Chief Teresa Thigi, is implementing a multi-dimensional summer safety plan to prevent violent crime and disrupt the pathways to violence. Through an innovative, data-driven approach, our law enforcement is targeting hotspots for violence and promoting youth engagement to lift up our children. But police will be the first to tell us that policing alone cannot solve this violence problem. It requires all of us to come together with comprehensive solutions to address the root cause of violence, and we as a city are putting in the work. In partnership with the Managers Advisory Group, our city has begun 2 transformational community-based projects to address youth violence. These projects include a new mental health advocacy training program to empower neighborhood leaders to improve access to mental health care, as well as a series of grants for community-based organizations to conduct violence prevention activities in our neighborhoods with the highest risk of violent crime. By giving our neighborhoods and our children the focused care that they need, we are working to create new pathways toward productive, healthy, and rewarding lives. This is all interconnected, and it requires community-level leaders like yourselves to be at the table as the city makes its most influential and important decisions. You know, the timing of today's talk could not be better, because later this afternoon, Council will hopefully be passing our budget, fingers crossed. And this budget is the product of our city's commitment to empowering communities to seek out and lift up their voices and to make informed decisions based on their needs and priorities. On April 4th, thanks to Councilmember Landsman's leadership, our city held our first ever public hearing to gather community feedback before the budget was released. And with this budget, just like with all our work this year, we are charting a new course for Cincinnati that reflects the values of those residents: safe, vibrant neighborhoods and economic growth. We are making a strong and necessary commitment to public safety, addressing staffing challenges with funding for 2 new classes of fire recruits for a record number of recruits, as well as the most police recruits since 1999. But like I said, safety isn't just about staffing. We're committed to innovation, to more effectively serving the needs of residents in crisis, with funding for our pilot program to provide unarmed mental health professionals for some nonviolent 911 calls, so that our police resources can be better and more effectively used to prevent violent crime and prosecute violent crime. On top of this critical support for public safety resources, we are making a record investment in youth employment and new career pathway initiatives, increasing the funding by $1 million to a total of $2.4 million. As we work to support a vibrant economy, we're stepping up to add additional support for organizations that help provide capital and training for Black and Brown-owned businesses, which will be pivotal to our growth. Organizations like Represent, the African American Chamber of Commerce, Mortar, ArtsWave, Black and Brown Artists Fund, and the Hillman Accelerator. Our city's core mission is to help support everyone's opportunity to build a healthy, rewarding life. That's why I'm so incredibly proud that the budget increases our investment in human services to a record high of 1.7% of the city's general fund, amounting to an additional $2 million over the previous budget. It's also why the budget includes game-changing funding to support and promote the child care provider workforce. It's important to stress that we are able to accomplish these goals without making any cuts in the operating budget. I talked earlier about the unprecedented budgetary challenges we're facing due to the impact of COVID-19. And as we collectively work to adapt to those challenges, we are making important decisions to ensure our fiscal sustainability while making critical investments right now. In this budget, we're setting aside $72 million of the $139 million of remaining American Rescue Plan funding. $72 million. While the city's revenue projections have dramatically improved from previous forecasts, we will use these reserved ARP funds to protect the basic services that residents depend on during potential deficits in the coming years. At the same time, we are leveraging the remaining $67 million of ARP funds to make a historic investment in our future. This package of capital investments will address critical deferred maintenance, adding $3 million for park renovations, $3 million for our rec centers, and $3 million for our health centers and facilities. On top of our previous work to expand pedestrian safety measures near our schools, it goes further with $4 million for safety measures. It will expand funding for road repairs by $4 million. I hate potholes as much as you do. And sidewalk and stairway repairs in disadvantaged areas by $3 million. These investments in our infrastructure are critical, and from Kennedy Heights to Avondale to Price Hill, residents will benefit from them. With these capital investments, we're also expanding our support of public safety workers by providing the resources and facilities they need. We're investing $2.6 million in public safety facility improvements, and we're building a new fire training tower to provide our firefighters with a modernized training facility. We're also allocating $2 million to support the relocation of the Regional Safety Complex, which residents of Woodlawn and the village of Lincoln Heights have been asking for years. But perhaps most importantly, while we make these investments to support a safe, healthy Cincinnati, we're also looking to the future. A record investment of $5 million in broadband to partner with Alta Fiber and help our neighborhoods close the digital divide. Increased funding of $4 million to further the goals of the Green Cincinnati Plan, from electric vehicle charging stations to litter and blight removal throughout the city. And a historic $7 million investment to develop ready-to-build sites to capitalize on the Intel deal and create the foundation for attracting high-tech manufacturing. This is the kind of strategic, future-oriented investment that we need right now if we want to bring in the kinds of jobs that will help the city thrive in the modern economy. I am so proud of what's in this budget and the amazing work from so many that has gone into it. But I'm equally proud of the process. We have listened to the community, we have worked together with council to establish clear priorities and goals, and the administration and I are confident that the budget embodies and executes on those goals. And I'll just close by saying that when it passes, I know that this city government will not be resting on our laurels. We have a lot of work to do this summer, from our upcoming housing work to a coordinated focus on safety opportunities for youth, to creating pathways for building careers, to a full financial deep dive into our finances and a discussion of how we can best adapt to the changes and how city governments operate and thrive in the modern economy. Throughout all of that, I sincerely hope you'll be here to offer your feedback and input, and I am excited to listen. Thank you so much, and with that, I'll take any questions that you might have. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a great question. The question was, given the challenge of poverty in our city, how do we engage with the youth to give them access to the programs that we're funding? And the simple answer is to go to where they are. The way that we manage our schools in Cincinnati is a little bit different in that while our city government, through tax revenue, helps fund our schools, the superintendent and the independently elected school board manages our schools. But even though there's an arm's length relationship between City Hall and our school board, it is very important for all of us to work together to engage with our youth in the most effective way, which is why I have met regularly with the new superintendent, Ironetta Wright, and the school board in order to make sure that we're creating opportunities for our kids to not just have summer jobs, but to have careers. Again, we are very focused on careers. I'll give you an example. In their infinite wisdom, our city electorate passed a charter amendment that required the city to create what is called a public safety academy. It's a brilliant idea where we have in our high schools police officers and firefighters teaching our public school kids how to become a firefighter or a police officer, so upon graduation they can go directly into that field and have a career. This is particularly important right now in our city's history because our consent decree for our police department was most recently found unconstitutional, which did a lot of work to increase the diversity amongst our police officer ranks. That paired with the fact that our recruit classes for both police and fire have been getting smaller and smaller, and the fact that we have aging police officers and firefighters who are taking record numbers of retirement, the consent decree, the smaller number of recruit classes, the historic amount of retirements is creating a lot of stress on our public safety community because there's just fewer and fewer people to do the job, and there's fewer diverse candidates to do the job. The Public Safety Academy addresses your question about youth and addresses all three of those concerns. And so we are working right now with Chief Thiegy, Chief Washington, and the superintendent to not just fund the Public Safety Academy, which has never been fully funded or operationalized, but to make it the best in class in the country so that we have a steady pipeline of youth to get engaged with good jobs, with good benefits, and also help make our community more safe. Gentleman in the corner here. There's a mic coming to you.
Slowly. Thank you. So first of all, I'm a BHS class of '84. So
oh wow!
Go Beavers.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how you view the role of neighborhood development corporations. I'm on the board of MCIRC, Madisonville Urban Redevelopment Corporation. And I just wonder what steps your administration might be taking to reach out to those neighborhood development corporations.
Thank you so much. So this will surprise no one, but Beaver Creek High School's mascot is the Batlin Beavers. We're big fans of alliteration. Neighborhood development corporations are critical to the neighborhoods that they're in, but also critical to our city. We are really lucky in that we have 52 neighborhoods in Cincinnati. Now, we're very proud of that. Not all of our 52 neighborhoods are thriving. Not all of our 52 neighborhoods are residential. Queensgate, for example, not a single person lives in Queensgate. So 52 neighborhoods is a nice tagline, but 52 neighborhoods have different interests, different issues, different objectives, and frankly, different plans for how they develop. These neighborhood development corporations are a critical piece in partnering with the city in order for us to better understand what the plan is, what the needs are, and what the priorities are for each community. A community like Madisonville has very different growth and development issues and needs than a community like Sedamsville, Price Hill, or even a community like Hyde Park. And so we really rely on these development corporations to be our eyes and ears on the ground in collaboration with our community councils in each neighborhood and our businesses and neighborhoods. I'm fond of saying, and so is council, that development in Cincinnati really starts at the neighborhood level. It's not our job to tell neighborhoods what they need, but rather to listen and to respond. Obviously, elected officials are going to have strong opinions about what the various issues are and how we can work together to accomplish that. But what makes Cincinnati so special is how engaged and organized our community is at the neighborhood level. And I see that as an opportunity, not as a roadblock. Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mayor? Thanks for giving us the great information today and visiting with us. I was on a call with Councilman Harris, and we were talking about real estate. A group of real estate guys were on there talking about affordable housing. I just wanted to get your viewpoints on how could we bring the challenges, bringing the affordable market, bringing it to the market and making it beneficial for the developer as far as, and for the tenant. So I wanted to get your thoughts on how could we do this and make it beneficial for everyone to bring this product to the market.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Let's define the problem. So on the national level, Cincinnati is actually a very affordable city. We are incredibly affordable. But for our citizens, our existing citizens, there is a massive affordability challenge that we're facing. And there are several factors for that. Number one is our incomes have not kept pace with inflation and other economic factors. And so incomes have been kind of steady, running in place, while rents and property taxes have been going up, which creates affordability challenges. Our city is growing, which is great. That's awesome news. We have to grow in order to have the resources to do the big things. But our population growth has not been in parity with our housing supply growth. We have not been creating housing at the same rate that we're attracting new people. And so, of course, there's a supply challenge there as well. So in order to accomplish affordability from a city's perspective, because frankly, I don't have enough resources to have a significant effect on the market through investment alone. And so in order to address the affordability issue, we need more supply of housing at all levels of income. We need more market rate housing, we need more workforce, affordable, and yes, we need more low income housing. We just need more housing in general. The city's role in accomplishing that is by creating the organic economic factors to increase the rate of housing supply and housing production. Obviously, there are challenges given supply chain issues and given inflation and the rising cost of building things. But what we can do most effectively is a number of things. Number one, we have to have policies, zoning policies and ordinances and laws that encourage development of housing and not discourage it. What I mean by that is our housing and zoning laws are from the 1950s, creating a city that I'm not sure most of us want to live in. And in part, due to those zoning ordinances from a bygone era, we have intentionally designed a city that is segregated and a city that concentrates poverty. 70% of our city prohibits multifamily units from being built in the neighborhoods. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not interested in a 25-story apartment building in the middle of a residential neighborhood. But if 75% of the city is prohibiting multifamily units, that is artificially keeping supply down, which is artificially increasing rents and artificially increasing property taxes. So we need to review our zoning code, which we're in the middle of doing. At the same time, the city can provide gap financing to affordable housing developers. It just costs more money. Oh, I'm about to be pulled. It just costs more money to build affordable housing units. Obviously, there's a ceiling on the rent that you can charge, but affordable housing tenants oftentimes are more transient and therefore are harder on the units. And so the $58 million in our Affordable Housing Trust Fund is meant to go directly to that gap financing to make it more affordable and more economically viable to produce affordable housing. Thank you all so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
We have one last question from one of our members on Zoom.
Oh, great.
Deborah Schultz.
One last question.
One
I thought
last
you were
question.
pulling me.
No, that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. No. She says her question is, Mayor, you spoke at last week's Midwest Sustainability Summit. You spoke about addressing climate change. Tell us more about the Green Plan.
Great. I'm very long-winded. I'm sorry. I'll try to keep this short. I talked about the paradigm shift going on in the country because of the pandemic. More and more people are working remotely, which is having a big impact on our local economy, on our restaurants, lunch spots, etc. It's also having an impact on our earnings tax revenue. 80% of our earnings tax revenue, 80% of our basic services, police, fire, snow removal, comes from our earnings tax revenue. And if you work downtown but live in Mason and you haven't been coming downtown but working from home, all of that earnings tax revenue is going now to Mason rather than Cincinnati, which is an existential threat for our revenues. On top of all of that, climate change is becoming more and more impactful on our economy. As we see more wildfires and droughts and hurricanes and extreme weather, companies and people are going to start looking for climate resilient locations are going to start looking more and more attractive. And guess what? We're in one. We have the Midwest with the Ohio River and the Great Lakes is one of the best places in the world for access to fresh water. If you don't believe me, look at the Intel deal, a multi-billion-dollar investment in Central Ohio. One of the two top reasons Intel chose that location of anywhere in the world was because of its climate resiliency and because of its access to fresh water. I don't know if it's in the next 5, 10, or 15 years, but there will be an inward migration from the coasts as we have more coastal erosion, more extreme weather, and the cost of living as a result goes up. There will be an inward migration. So we as a city need to make decisions right now to be a destination for those climate migrants. And our best chance for doing that is the Green Cincinnati Plan, which is a plan that started in 2008 and is refreshed every 5 years based on the most up-to-date science. Our goal is to be completely carbon neutral as a city by 2050. And in order to do that, we're taking steps right now, like only buying electric vehicles and having a complete city fleet that is all electric by 2035, by addressing the various heat hotspots in our city where the tree canopy isn't as large as other places, by thinking about green new jobs in Cincinnati. One of our strengths is our physical position in the United States. It makes us an incredible hub for logistics, both freight and air and road and water. If you are going to build wind turbines or batteries for the green new economy, why are you building them in Portland and then shipping them for the rest of through the rest of the country? It's much cheaper for you to build them here in Cincinnati and then ship them through the heart of our nation. Those are the various incentives and issues that the Green Cincinnati Plan is thinking through right now, again, to put Cincinnati in the best position possible moving forward. Great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mayor Pureval. We have a small token of our appreciation for you, Mayor. This is a pin that has our motto on it for the year that says, "Serve to change lives."
Thank you.
And we will also give a donation to Rotary International for the eradication of polio based on your presentation today. Let's give him another round of applause. Great presentation. Thank you so much again, Mayor. Now we will move on to the remainder of our program that typically we would do before our presentation. We would like to wish happy birthdays to all of the members who have a birthday today. Christy typically has the birthdays up on the screen, but because of our change in schedule, she will probably throw it up a little later on. They are also in the E-rays. As I mentioned to you before, we're cutting down on some of the announcements so we can leave more time for speakers. And when she puts those birthdays up there, we will recognize everyone. Today is interesting. We have our guests from Dayton, and we have the Dayton Dragons game Those are starting to begin, and our district governor and district governor-elect has sent us an email about the presentation. Well, first of all, there's the birthdays. Let's go through those. Thank you, Christy, for putting those up. So our Rotary birthdays this week: the 21st, Allison Kaufman; 22nd, Tammy Young; 24th, Carmen Hillman; 25th, Eric Walker; and 26th, Susan Snodgrass and Jim Brooks. Let's give them a round of applause. Happy birthday. And again, going back to the Dayton Dragons game, you might want to put this on your calendar, as we are planning to do some more collaborative efforts between our club and the Dayton Club. August 6th, which is a Saturday night, will be the game that begins at 7 o'clock. The tickets are just $14. 7 of those $14 will come back to our district and will be donated to the End Polio Fund, where we're down to just about, in some places you'll see 7 to 8 or 9 people left in Afghanistan and Pakistan, I think, are the only 2 countries left. So we're still fighting that to make sure that we eradicate polio, and that's what we're working toward. So if you're interested in getting tickets for the game, please refer back to your E-Raise, or you can call the office. They can give you the information for it. The tickets, again, are $14, and $7 goes to End Polio Now. You can get them virtually as well. There will be a link that you can go to register. Family of Rotary, Rotarian Jim Yunker. He was recently selected as the BSU Epsilon Omega Chapter's 14th Significant SIG honoree. And we are really excited about that. It's a great award. Let's give Jim Yunker a round of applause for receiving that award. Also, we have immediate past President Brett LaBarre and his wife Marilyn, congratulating them on their son's wedding. Their son Matt is a firefighter, and his new bride is Katie Powers. They were married May 21st. So congratulations to Brett and Marilyn, their family. We have 2 meetings this afternoon. We have the World Affairs Committee meeting in Salon A on the 4th floor, and the Women in Rotary Committee will meet also on the 4th floor in Salon F. And next week's meeting is changing of the guard, so make sure you're here. I hope I'll be able to be here. We're looking forward to that. At this time, I would like to recognize one of our newest members. We're always excited to have new members join us in our efforts to serve locally in the community here, as we do at Stepping Stones, the Condon School, and a number of Cincinnati public school areas that we're working with, and also in our international projects in Ghana, in Uganda, and also in Madagascar. So we are really excited about our projects that we have ongoing and new members who are joining us in those efforts. So today, if Deanne Fleming would come forward, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Deanne to our club again. Deanne, as most of you know, was a part-time employee of the Rotary Club's office, Rotary Club of Cincinnati's office. And what's so exciting about Deanne joining is, after leaving that position, she enjoyed the club and the people so much, and she told her husband about it. And he said, well, why don't you join? She said, these are my great friends, it's a great place to be, a wonderful club. And she said, so I thought, well, why not? So as soon as she finished her position, because of some issues and things that she had to deal with family and things like that, and time spending with family, not necessarily anything negative, she said, I will not be employed, but I would love to be a member, and I would also love to chair one of the committees that I've worked diligently on. Deanne is from Central Ohio. She went to the Ohio State University. Interesting fact that she told me, now I'm not just sharing this with you, but how she met her husband at the drive-thru at the bank when she was working during college. So thought that was an interesting fact. She was also named the Miss, what was it?
Seamstress.
Miss
Marion County.
Seamstress of Marion County. I thought that was huge. Deanne is a hard worker. She and her husband have 4 children, one daughter who just recently got married, and she loves Rotary. She works hard, and we're very glad to have her as a member. So welcome, new member, Deanne Fleming.
Well, I'm telling you, becoming a member was an easy decision. I look forward to continuing efforts for membership development. This is a great club, great people, good work, and so I see so many new faces and guests, and I encourage you to come back because every week is something new. The speakers are fantastic. You get to learn about the city, and so I'm all in, and great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanne. Next, we will have Michael Schatzman is going to give us an announcement regarding the Kroger Community Rewards Program, and after Michael, Doug Bolton will make an announcement regarding our election process. Michael?
Well, thank you, President Melinda. You're almost there. Congratulations. 1 week to go. Steve, you're up, buddy. No pressure. Well, I'll be brief because we have a lot of things on the agenda today. Good afternoon. No, come on, you guys know the drill by now. I say good afternoon, and you say good afternoon back. So let's try this again. Put a little gusto in it so that we can show our Dayton friends how it's done on something other than just bowling, okay? So, good afternoon. Good afternoon. There we go. Great, thank you. Now, show of hands. How many people have heard of a local Cincinnati headquartered company called Kroger's? Okay, good. Another show of hands. How many people have heard of Kroger's Kroger Plus card? That's the little card that you get your fuel rewards for, right? Every time you gas up, you get anywhere over the course of a month, 10 cents off a gallon to $1 off a gallon. Good deal, right? So there's another program in addition to fuel rewards that Kroger offers, and that's what I'm here to talk about. We're launching it today. There are flyers on all of your tables that goes into a little bit about how it works. It's called their Community Rewards Program, and here's how it works. You enroll your card in Community Rewards. You go to either the page or the app or something, and you have an option to click on Community Rewards. And if you want to enroll your card, there's any number of different organizations, but you can do a search for Rotary FND of Cincinnati, Rotary Foundation of Cincinnati. And guess what? That's us. So when you sign up for it, what'll happen is you click the button, it says enroll, and you're enrolled. I got to tell you, when I was at Macy's, I did a lot of different things for them, but one of them was whenever we had a new selling initiative, we let me test it first. And if I could do it, pretty much anybody could do it. I was the litmus test. Well, I'm here to tell you with this Kroger Rewards Program, or Kroger Community Rewards Program, again, I'm the litmus test. I can do it. It was easy, very easy to do, so you can sign up for it. Now, what happens when you sign up? Well, there are a couple of things I want to stress to you. Number one, there's no charge. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. Number two, you get to keep all of your current fuel rewards. No sacrificing the fuel rewards, and heaven knows we all need as much relief from gas prices as we can. The program is free. And now one other thing I want to talk about, everybody hold up the number 4. Nice and high, look around, wave it so everybody can see it. Okay, why am I saying 4? That's because when you enroll, Kroger will donate 4% of your purchase to our foundation. So using my Milford High School math, if you spend $100, Kroger will donate $4, 4%, to our foundation. No cost to you, easy to do, and guess what else? You don't have to be a Rotarian to sign up for it and benefit our foundation. So if you are talking to other friends about maybe recruiting them to become a member of our club, and you're all doing that, right? You are, yes? Okay. You can tell them that one of the many benefits is that you can do this without even being a member. So it's very easy to do. You don't need to sign up. And if we get enough people, we should be able to have a nice little revenue stream for our foundation. Very little effort and no cost to us. So next steps, I'll be launching a email to the club with a copy of the flyer so you can all sign up. I'll have my telephone number on there. If you have trouble, give me a call. I can talk you through it. And then we're going to be doing a Facebook on our public Facebook group. How many people follow our Rotary Club of Cincinnati Facebook program? Okay, good. So we'll be doing a thing on that and ask you to share that with everybody. So it's now launched. Congratulations. Thank you, President Melinda. Doug, over to you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, President Melinda. So speaking to the members of the Rotary Club of Cincinnati, you have 8 days until nominations close for Rotary Board of Directors beginning a term for July 2023. That's when I begin my role as president. So I'd like to invite this committed group of volunteers to nominate yourself, nominate a fellow Rotarian to join our board beginning in July 2023. We are also the same process for officers, president's role, treasurer, succeeding me and succeeding our current treasurer beginning in July 2024. So if you are called to the idea of serving as a club president and club treasurer, we would welcome your self-nomination or you nominating another Rotarian. But again, the nominations close in 8 days. So Friday, July 1st by 5 p.m., those nominations must be in President Melinda's inbox. The form to nominate is on the website. It's easy to fill out and complete. And of course, Melinda's email address is on the website as well. I welcome you. I invite you to join me in leadership of our club beginning in July 2023 and July 2024. Thanks.
And the last thing we will do today is the split the pot drawing, and we'll ask President nominee Doug Bolton to pull the winning ticket. The winner today gets, thank you, $71 for the first draw. Anyone is eligible for that. And for the rolling pot, that's $119. Only Club 17 members are available to pull the winning ticket, which is the Queen of Hearts. So the winning ticket that anyone can be a part is the last four digits are 43338. 4338. And we have a winner. I can't see who that is. He will be pulling for the Queen of Hearts for $119. And he's donated the $71 back to the club, which now is up to $140. You know, we just had the pot one about 2 weeks ago, was $1,800. What? Oh, he pulled the jack, so the pot thickens and it rises, so he didn't win this time. So get ready for next week. Thank you so very much. Okay, well, just make sure you contact Michael Schatzman. Michael Schatzman will be sure to help you with that. If you have any questions, please check with Michael Schatzman. Thank you so much for coming. I would like for all of the youth to please meet outside. We want a picture of all the youth, even our guests from Dayton, and all of the Dayton people. We have a little special gift for you. Make it a great week. Meeting adjourned.